Live. Yeah, we're live.
Yep.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম, শাকিলা আজিম বলছিলাম ইন্টারন্যাশনাল এডুকেশন কাউন্সিলিং সেন্টার থেকে। কেমন আছেন আপনারা সবাই? আশা করি আপনারা সবাই ভালো আছেন এবং আইসিসির সাথেই আছেন। আমরা কয়েকটা লাইভ সেশন করব এর মধ্যে, এই মাসের মধ্যে, স্পেশালি ফোকাসিং অন স্কলারশিপ প্রোগ্রাম, যেটা ইউকে ইউনিভার্সিটি থেকে প্রোভাইড করছে। আমরা গত সপ্তাহে একটা ইউকে ইউনিভার্সিটিতে কথা বলেছি। আজকে আমরা আরেকটা ইউনিভার্সিটির সাথে কথা বলবো, অ্যাস্টন ইউনিভার্সিটি, বার্মিংহাম, ইউকে। অ্যাস্টন ইউনিভার্সিটির সাথে আজকে আমাদের সাথে জয়েন করবেন Thomas Aston. He is the regional manager for South Asia, and it is privilege also to have with us Mr. Richard Kenyon. For the first time he's joining us for ICC Facebook live session. So I would like to welcome both of you to our session and Facebook live session, and we'll listen from you regarding the scholarship program, your awards that you have been getting for last couple of years, and the accounting and the finance program that you have at the university, especially for professionals. So let me just give our viewers the number they should contact to how they can, and how they should question us. Aston University কিন্তু 3000 ইন্টারন্যাশনাল স্টুডেন্ট আছে অ্যাক্রস দ্য ওয়ার্ল্ড ফ্রম ডিফারেন্ট ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড। সো ওদের কিন্তু অনেক বড় একটা প্রোফাইল আছে। আপনারা যারা আমাদের ফেসবুক লাইভ সবসময় দেখেন তারা জানেন যে কিভাবে আমাদের সাথে কানেক্ট করতে হয়। তারপর আমি কিন্তু নাম্বারটা বলে দিচ্ছি, আপনারা আমাদের সাথে কিভাবে কানেক্ট করবেন। ফর ঢাকা অফিস, প্লিজ কল 01885990990 or 01761448980, or you can email us at study@iecc.co.uk. আর যারা সিলেট অফিস থেকে আমাদের সাথে জয়েন করছেন is from সিলেট, number is 1011885993993, or you can email us at silet@iecc.co.uk. So let us start. Thomas and Richard, once again, welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you with us. And thank you for giving us your time. Let us start with giving some information to our viewers regarding the profile and the awards that you have been receiving for last couple of years, or even the last years also. I know that you have won lot of awards regarding the student university and the teaching quality of this university.
Thank you very much, Shakila. Yeah, it's been a really good year for us at Aston. We were last November named University of the Year by The Guardian for the UK, so that's something we're incredibly proud of. Our business school continues to retain its triple accreditation. Our programs such as business and management and accounting and finance appear in the top 100 and top 200 for QS World Rankings. So we're really proud of all of these. And that's kind of, I guess, the first strength for us to talk about is our business school. We won the Enterprising University of the Year this year, and our business school links very well with businesses. Richard's program, and Richard's here today to talk about accounting, and the program that he got is really, really suitable for professionals looking to develop their career and to enhance their CV. So we've got a lot that goes on there. We've got our engineering school as well, and our College of Health and Life Sciences. And these two colleges have both got some really great programs and great awards. They've got the Athena Swan Awards, where they are recognized for promoting women's enhancement in STEM subjects, and they've got other awards as well. So there's a lot that the university has got there to be proud of.
Is this the year that the STEM scholarship that's been offered for women, especially for women? And you are in one of the universities that's offering it, right?
We have, in the last year, we offered a scholarship specifically for women in STEM subjects. And I believe we'll be looking to offer that one again this year. Yeah. I'm not sure if the details have been updated on the website yet.
Okay, I understand. Thank you for telling us that information. So আপনারা এখন জানলেন যে University of Aston University as the UA according to QS ranking is the top 100 for business and management studies. So good. Now let us talk about the pathway programs that you have for HEC student. A lot of students who just graduated this year looking for studying at the UK, they're thinking of studying in the UK. So how they should join the Aston University.
So this is another really exciting development we have. I know that for students from different backgrounds, they need different routes to get onto their courses. And Aston has just this year launched a partnership with Cambridge Education Group to open an on-campus Aston Centre. This gives Bangladeshi students at undergraduate level the chance to do a university foundation program if they need it, or they can do an international year one program, which would allow them to enter and then progress once they complete that program directly into year two for subjects like computing science, law, business, and a range of other subjects. So that's a really exciting development for us. So that's the on-campus Aston Centre. For postgraduate students, the Master's Foundation program is also there for all of our courses. So if students perhaps don't quite have the requirements they need for direct entry, they can take one of these pathway programs and they would progress onto the course. And the best part, the pathway program is taught on the Aston campus, and the students are Aston students. They would use the library, the students' union, the teaching facilities, just as an Aston student would do on the second year or final year of a course. So it's a really great opportunity for students.
Okay, and tell us a bit more about the entry requirements. If someone wants to, for HEC background student wants to, join Aston University, what would the requirement to be, education qualification would be for foundation program and for international year one? Going through on campus.
Well, this is the really good thing. So for HSC students, previously they would have had to have done a foundation program to come to Aston. But now HSC students with good grades and an IELTS can apply for the international year one program directly, which gives them that saves them that year basically. That gives them that year one program, and then they move into the year two of the course. So this is a really good opportunity for Bangladeshi students that wasn't there before.
Okay. So আপনারা যারা HSC স্টুডেন্ট, আপনারা যারা ইউকে তে যাওয়ার কথা ভাবছেন, যারা এই বছর পাস করেছেন, আপনাদের যদি 5 out of 5 থাকে, plus you have a good IELTS score. IELTS score is how much? 6.5 or 6 will do?
5.5.
5.5 and no band less than 5, I suppose, or 5.5.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yes. So I'll say 5.5 plus no band less than 5.5. You can directly apply to international year one through Cambridge Education. আপনারা international one year apply করলে যেটা হয় যে আপনারা directly আপনারা second year you can move on, rather than if you do foundation one then you have to study again from year one. But that when you start at year one you move directly to year two. And এটা কিন্তু ইউনিভার্সিটি অ্যাস্টন ইউনিভার্সিটির ক্যাম্পাসে আপনারা ক্লাস করতে পারবেন। সো যারা আমাদেরকে দেখছেন তারা কিন্তু ইনফরমেশনটা নিয়ে অবশ্যই আইসিসির সাথে যোগাযোগ করবেন। And I believe also, Thomas, that you are offering Duolingo as well, because in Bangladesh, at one time when we had last year, the lockdown was on. I mean, a lot of the center were closed, and students were doing various English language tests, and one of them was Duolingo. But now things has moved on and becoming normal, and students have to take IELTS. But you're still, I believe, that offering students that opportunity to do Duolingo and accepted by Aston University.
That's right. Aston's always accepted a few different English language qualifications, so IELTS, Pearson, TOEFL. Last year, with the pandemic and the challenges it presented, for a time we were offering an Aston online English test, but we switched to accepting Duolingo, and we still accept that now for September. So if a student doesn't have IELTS and would prefer to do some other test, yes, Duolingo would be accepted for Aston.
Okay. Is it for undergraduate, postgraduate, both?
Undergraduate and postgraduate, both, yeah.
I mean, and the international year that you have said, can they apply through Duolingo if they would like to? Or they like to have IELTS or UKVI IELTS? A lot of people get confused regarding what to do, UKVI or normal IELTS, academic IELTS.
I would advise UKVI generally because it saves on the confusion. But for the international year one, I believe that they do need to do the IELTS. It wouldn't be accepted to do the Duolingo there, I think.
So IELTS would be recommended.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And let's talk about, I know that this year that you have a big amount, you're offering a big amount of scholarship to students, and I would like to hear more about that. And Richard, would you like to talk about the accounting program that you're offering to the students, especially for postgraduate professionals, or would you like to discuss the scholarship program
I wouldn't
first?
mind. Well, I was looking at the Duolingo thing because quite like Duolingo. It's a great way to learn a foreign language for free. They have these lovely little programs you can have work on. But that aside, I was looking inside Aston's website, and for Aston Business School, Duolingo English test, it says 110 with a minimum of 85 in each sub score. So it's not too bad actually. Your IELTS is still standing quite high, so you might choose to do that instead of IELTS, I suppose.
I believe that 110 might be 6.5 equivalent to normal IELTS.
Yeah. But I think Duolingo is quite reliable because you
Easy.
can go into a center, you can be tested, blah, I don't know. It's something new on the block, but I think it's quite good.
Now, a lot of people, prefer to still talks about Duolingo, taking Duolingo test rather than sitting for IELTS. They have this kind of fear within themselves, sitting for IELTS.
Yeah. Horses for courses. We obviously accept both in different circumstances. So. Right. Anyway, so talking about programs, right? Okay. So if you're into accounting and finance, you've got 3 postgraduate options. You've got your MSc Accounting and Finance. This is if you've got a degree in any subject and you want to get into accounting and finance. You want to, if you like, you want a conversion course. I did a similar conversion course at the previous university I worked at. I created one of those, and they actually work very nicely. Our course is well subscribed, and we find that Bangladeshi students do particularly well on our courses, and I've found that they've been very excellent learners in the past. So anyway, so we're very much welcome to have them. If they weren't graduating in accounting and finance, they could do the MSc Accounting and Finance as a conversion. However, if they did have accounting and finance expertise, they did have a degree with a substantial amount of that, they could do the MSc International Accounting and Finance, which takes it to a whole new level. This isn't conversion, this is specialization. This is knowledge which you could take into an international, multinational company and gain a management position within that company. So this is for somebody who already has their proper degree in accounting or a strongly accounting related field. And then finally,
can I disturb you? If somebody has done the accounting finance in undergraduate, can they do directly MSc in international finance, accounting and finance, or they have to have postgraduate degree, then they can do the international MSc in international accounting and finance?
No, MSc International Accounting and Finance is deliberately for people who have an undergraduate degree in accounting mainly or finance, but they've got a strong background already. Their undergraduate degree has to have a majority amount of accounting and finance in it, preferably in the title.
Okay, understand.
Okay, so this is for people who are looking for something to extend their undergraduate degree, to extend their employability. And as we all know, multinationals like to see a master's, especially ones in Europe. Look at job adverts by Novartis in Switzerland. Have you got an MSc? It's that kind of thing. Right. Anyway, so going on, there's also the opportunity that if you happen to have been doing your ACCA or CIMA exams, and I know people do, because I've got people on the online course who talk to me about that. They tell me that, look, they're trying to juggle their studies with their professional studies, which is very praiseworthy that they're managing to juggle like this. But if they have juggled through to the final exams on CIMA or ACCA, we offer them a quick way of getting an MSc, but not a quick and nasty way, I happen to add. Our quick way is one where you get the proper research training so you could do something with it afterwards, like a PhD if you wanted to, right? So this is something which deliberately puts you in the higher ranking of MSCs. Well, you're getting that anyway because you're coming to Aston, but in terms of having that research capability, I was quite amused. We had a new visiting professor talking to us from their own university, obviously, and they say, and how do you ensure they have enough research methodology? I said, well, actually, they have a whole module on research methodology. It isn't just hidden in part of their dissertation module. It's actually a full-blown one where they get the ability to put together research design, criticize research design, so that when they get onto their dissertation, they could actually get to the point where it's publishable quality. And that is their aim. Okay, we don't state it in our papers, but that is their real aim for people. So if you have got an ACCA qualification in exam terms, we're not saying you have to have, done the 3 years practical and signed off ACCA member. We just want to see you've passed those level 7 exams. You've finished the exams off CIMA, ACCA, any respectable chartered institute will also fall into that category. Okay, so if they happen to be CPA with Australia, or they followed another route, which is a national level accounting qualification, then they're into that. They'll be able to get into the course. The idea is that they then use that knowledge for their research dissertation. Okay, so the course is not aiming to teach them about accounting and finance. They have got that in the bag as a professional. The aim is for them to use that knowledge to do something research-wise, to do something original, to start using their knowledge in a higher level.
Okay, I understand. So you said that ACCA, CIMA, CPA, plus do you accept it for FCA, for Financial Chartered Accounting, I think?
Well, I think you're actually referring to the Chartered Financial Analyst, CFA. No, we don't. We don't actually do CFA, no, because CFA is a finance related only. Ours is accounting and finance. So it's predominantly accounting with finance added on, as so far as it's useful for accounting and finance for companies, that kind of thing. Whereas your CFA includes personal financial advice, investment, so it's not really down the right line. Unfortunately, you have to have that, if you like, pedigree of understanding about accounting to be able to do this MSc, which is 8 months part-time or 6 months full-time. Okay, and they are intensive months, I must admit, because you've got to fit in your research methods and your dissertation.
Okay, so it's a 6 month course, right? I mean,
6 months full-time or
full-time, right? Okay. Now, I'm sure if they're going to be an international student, they have to be a full-time. They cannot apply for a part-time, I suppose. I'm not sure about this.
Well, this is it. Yes, with the 6 months full-time, they would apply for their own visiting visa rather than having a sponsored visa. So it should be easier to get, hopefully.
Right. Okay. And also, Richard, can you explain that what kind of I mean, you said that they have to have an, ACCA, CIMA. I mean, what in terms of ACCA, they have paper passing, like paper 2, paper 4. So, I mean, would you accept them at the last part of the program, or they can apply if someone is on the doing their second part or third part, they can apply? Is there any specific? I mean, if somebody wants to apply, or those who are watching us, I mean, how should they apply? When should they apply?
When they are fully completed, they need to be exam completed. If they apply without completing all the exams, it would be conditional on finishing those exams with a pass. So you may find that somebody has, like you say, maybe one paper outstanding. That happened to me. That last paper, right, you're hoping you're going to pass it because you've got a course offer based on it. So you may pass it. But we do insist on it full exam qualified, because only that way can we ensure that all the students have that right background. And we find that we get students from local industry, local large employers coming along who've been CIMA trained, on an apprenticeship route or whatever, and they finish their exams, but they haven't necessarily applied to become members of CIMA. They're just going on with their career. And in fact, in some ways, it's an advantage to take the MSc because you never have to pay membership fees, right? If you become a member of CIMA or ACCA, you have to pay those membership fees every year. And they're quite steep.
I understand. So these students
with the MSc, you've got that membership fee all paid in one go. Forever.
Two questions from you. One is, do they need to have an English language requirement? Second is, will they be able to place into us industry placement or any placement work? Will the Aston University help them to get a job, say placement offer from the industry?
No, we don't have a placement scheme attached to it. But in terms of English, you have to pass the standard postgraduate English qualification. So it's not above the bar. It's the same as the others.
Okay.
Bit of a down there. I'm sorry, but yeah.
All right. We have a question from Mr. Sabir Sarkar. Want to know more about the FCA program, but I don't know how much you can know. FCA
ACC.
program.
FCA. We'd have
FCA.
we don't have an FCA program exclusively. We have a MSc in finance and MSc in investment analysis, and on these two courses, as the students come to complete the programs, we would support them through their first papers for FCA, and we run some training for that as well. So we don't have the full FCA program, but what student would do if they would come, they'd study these MSCs, do the FCA first exams with us and with support from us, and then go on to complete their papers then after they've graduated.
Okay. Thank you. And okay, there are three more questions. Let us take this, then we'll go back to the scholarship program.
Yeah.
Mr. Kobli, Aston University provides any scholarship for undergrad students?
Should we jump to the scholarships and then come back to the
Yeah, let's jump.
we have £1 million+ scholarship fund this year, so we're really excited about that. We have somebody always asks this question, so we'll go straight with this. We do have one full fee scholarship available at Aston University for an MSc. It's called the Aston Enterprise Scholarship. So this is for students who want to start a business in Birmingham after they graduate, and to apply they have to submit a 3-minute video outlining their idea. If they're successful, they receive the full tuition fee scholarship, but that's not all. They also receive a guaranteed place on the Birmingham Skills Enterprise and Innovation Network scheme after they graduate. And that is huge. That comes with a week-long boot camp to help them start their business up. It comes with a £500 startup grant to support the launching of the business. Students are given a free office space in the iCentrum Enterprise Hub associated to the university. And the best bit is that the students are also guaranteed the visa sponsorship as an entrepreneur from the BC scheme. So this scholarship is incredible, which is why there's only one.
I understand it's a full package that you're offering.
A very full package.
There are then yes. Is there any specific subject that the student have to study to get this scholarship?
Well, they have to be a postgraduate. They have to be doing one of our postgraduate courses, yeah. But there's not any specific subject. We had some really good applications last year from some engineers, and there was one good application last year from one of our science applicants. So it really is open to any background.
So any background of student doing the postgrads can apply for this scholarship, right? As long as you have mentioned that 3 minutes video and other startup program, what is going to be about, they need to show.
Absolutely.
So it's quite a lot of money here, investment.
Yes, it's a massive investment, and will really help one young budding entrepreneur start their business this year. So our successful candidate last year was from Jamaica.
Wow.
Applications are open now. The application deadline is the 19th of April. So if a student thinks this could be right for them, they need to get that course application in today, and then they need to submit their application for the scholarship before the 19th of April. So that's the big exciting scholarship that everyone always wants to ask me about.
Okay, now, I mean, before you go on to other scholarship schemes that you're going to announce now, I'd just like to say, for this to get this scholarship, the entrepreneurship scholarship, the student needs to apply before they apply to their master's program, or once they complete it, then they apply.
They need to
how is going to work?
They need to have applied to the course, but a conditional offer would be fine. So if you haven't got English or something like that yet, don't wait. Apply for the place on the course straight away. We can make you potentially a conditional offer, and that would be enough for a student to then apply for this scholarship with.
Okay, thank you. should you go on or take some questions that come up? Then you can talk about the other scholarships that you have.
We've got a couple more, and I know that the guy who asked the question asked specifically about undergraduate scholarships.
Right.
We do. The next 3 scholarships that I would talk about apply for undergraduate and postgraduate students.
Okay.
So we have, first of all, I'll start with our Aston Excellence Scholarship, the Global Excellence Scholarship, which is a £5,000 or a £2,000 award, and this scholarship is automatic. So for a bachelor student, for a bachelor student progressing onto a master's degree, this scholarship would be assessed based on your grades at the point that you apply. And then for a undergraduate student, a student applying to one of our undergraduate courses, again, it will be based on your final grades. So we would need to have the application, the admissions teams would review it. As soon as we've got your final grades, we compare them against the requirement and be able to either award or not award the scholarship. And the difference between the values depends on the grades that students have got. Now, I haven't got the grades in front of me. Off the top of my head, I think it's something like a 3.8 plus is required for the 5,000, and a 3.5 plus would be required for the 2,000 in CGPA terms.
Is it one of the scholarship for 1 year for undergrads, or for 3 years they'll get this?
For 1 year for the undergrads, yeah.
Okay, but since it's 5,000 or 2,000, right?
Or 2,000.
Or 2,000, depending on the grade and from the assessment of the academic paper, you'll assess on how much student gets.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Is there any more scholarship that we can know about?
Then we have 2 scholarship schemes that are by application. So again, as with the enterprise scheme, you have to have your offer for the course, but we have the Vice-Chancellor's International Scholarship, which is an £8,000 award. I know for a fact that we had a student from Dhaka last year who received one of these scholarships. So we're very pleased about that, and I'd love to see a Bangladeshi get this scholarship again this year. But this scholarship is competitive. There are only 8 of these awards for the whole university. So it is
8 scholarships.
£8,000 scholarships, so that's competitive. Then we've got 30 global ambassador scholarships, which are worth £3,000. For these scholarships, the students have to do a 1-minute video showing how they could act as like a brand ambassador for the university after they graduate. So it's a little bit different. It's a little bit, it's exciting though, because there's a chance for them to get some really good work experience with us as well, off the back of that, as a student ambassador or uni buddy ambassador, something like that. So it's a really good foot in the door for students as well with the marketing department at the university.
Good. So there's a lot of scholarship that you're offering for students. I mean, I see that especially this year, a lot of universities offering a lot of scholarship. I suppose due to COVID, you're just giving all the students a chance to get a better education.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we want to be able to support our students so I've also put in a proposal for a specific Bangladeshi scholarship, but I haven't got information on that yet. I'm still waiting to get the okay on my proposal, but as soon as I do, we will let IECC know, so your counselors at IECC would be able to kind of give advice on that.
Sure. Let me tell our viewers, আমরা এতক্ষণ কিন্তু অ্যাস্টন ইউনিভার্সিটির সাথে কথা বলছি। আপনারা যারা আমাদের সাথে আছেন, আমাদের সাথেই থাকবেন। ওদের কিন্তু অনেকগুলো স্কলারশিপ নিয়ে আপনারা শুনতে পেরেছেন যে ওরা কতগুলো স্কলারশিপ ওরা দিচ্ছে, 5,000, 2,000, 8,000, এন্ড ওদের একটা এন্টারপ্রেনারশিপের জন্য পুরো ফুল ফান্ডেড স্কলারশিপ আছে, একদম A to Z। সো আপনারা যারা আমাদের সাথে আছেন, আইসির সাথে যোগাযোগ করবেন অ্যাস্টন ইউনিভার্সিটি পড়ার ব্যাপারে। ওদের ইন্টারন্যাশনাল ইয়ার ওয়ান অফার করতেছে ওরা HEC স্টুডেন্টের জন্য। দে হ্যাভ এ মাস্টার্স প্রোগ্রাম, MSc program for accounting and finance. And those who are doing professional degree, you can do a 6 months course, international course in MSc in accounting and finance. So অনেকগুলো অফার আছে ওদের জন্য। আপনারা আমাদের সাথে থাকবেন, যতগুলো কোশ্চেন আপনারা জানবেন এটা আপনাদের জন্যই ভালো হবে। সো আমি আশা করছি আপনাদের থেকে আরো কিছু কোশ্চেন আমরা পাবো। Let us go back to the questions, Thomas. So someone wanted to know application deadline for September intake.
So Aston doesn't have any strict application deadline, but I would encourage an early application. As I mentioned, we've got the Enterprise Scholarship that has a deadline in April. The other two application-based scholarships have deadlines in May. So if students want to be considered for a scholarship, they really do need to apply early. There's also benefits with the accommodation in that the accommodation should go live for application in April, and that's awarded on a first-come, first-served basis. So if students want to have the option of a place in the campus accommodation, again, an early application is really recommended. But there's not any kind of strict deadline with the postgrad application. With undergraduate applications, we accept applications through UCAS. So students would have to comply with UCAS deadlines if they're applying directly to the university. Otherwise, they should see the OnCampus Aston web pages for any details around deadlines for applying for those courses. Okay. But there's always the CAS as well and the visa to remember to allow enough time to apply for that visa. So you don't want to be the person at the end of the queue. You want to be the person at the front of the queue.
Right. স্কলারশিপের জন্য মিস্টার কবির স্কলারশিপের জন্য আপনাকে কিন্তু 19th April if you want to apply for entrepreneurship scholarship and for 8,000 Vice-Chancellor scholarship and other scholarship there is a deadline by May you need to apply. And যত লেটে রেখে দিবেন ততই কিন্তু চান্সেস কমে যায় people are taking over. Miss Shampa, without IELTS master's program possible?
Yes. Of course, as you said, we would accept Pearson, we would accept TOEFL or Duolingo as well. So there's different options for students without IELTS. Yeah.
Okay. Sir, আপনি PT করতে পারেন, TOEFL করতে পারেন, or Duolingo দিয়ে আপনি কিন্তু অ্যাপ্লাই করতে পারেন। Mohammad Zubair, good afternoon. I am Mohammad Zubair, software engineer, and we have been working in a private software company as a software engineer since January 2019. I have completed my graduation in computer science and engineering from a private university named BGC, Trust University. I have a plan for higher education. I want to do research on data science with a professor. Is it possible to do research with any professor from this university on data science? If my research paper will be recognized?
I mean, we can definitely look at that. With research, it always depends on the student's profile. So I think a student can apply with a bachelor's degree directly for a research program, but quite often it would be normal for a student to do a master's degree first and then build on that and progress from that into the PhD program. So for data science, we have a data analytics program, and really excitingly, we have the option on that program to do a professional practice year. Now, the professional practice year is guaranteed, so that's a 22-month course, and the student can either choose to do and apply for an industry-based internship, or they can do a research-based internship within the faculty. So yes, there is the option there to kind of build their profile up by coming and doing that master's, having that year then working on research topics to build their understanding of the research process that goes into it prior to applying for that PhD. So it depends on what the student's profile is and what they want to do. But yeah, previous publications, they would be considered as a part of the whole application.
Mr. Zubair, যেটা আমি বলবো আপনাকে যে please contact IECC আর যেটা টমাস সাজেস্ট করলো যে you do your masters, masters করে 1 বছর masters করে then by this time you do your research, you build up your research proposal, then apply to the university to do your PhD program. আপনারা যদি আরো কিছু জানার থাকে অবশ্যই আমাদেরকে কোশ্চেন করতে পারেন, আর না হলে আপনারা আইসিসির সাথে বনানী অফিসে আমাদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন, আমাদের কাউন্সিলররা আপনাকে বুঝিয়ে দিবে কিভাবে কি করতে হবে। Well, we have another question is the same thing, without IELTS UK bachelor study possible?
Yes, it would be. As we said, if you're applying directly to Aston, then you can check our web pages where we accept TOEFL, Pearson, Duolingo. For undergraduate directly, that would be okay.
All right, thank you, Thomas, for explaining that. And I know that you have some new program that you are announcing adding to your programs. If you could let us know about the new subjects that you are introducing in Aston University within the programs already that you have.
We do. We have some new programs, as you mentioned, in our engineering and health and life sciences school. So in the engineering school, we have the programs in sustainable engineering. And we're bringing in a program on future vehicles technologies as well. So the sustainable engineering, most people know what that's going to be. It's about how engineering solutions can be applied to solve issues such as environmental change and that kind of thing. The future vehicles technologies contains some of that, but that's not exclusively what it contains. It also looks at developments in vehicle technology such as autonomous driving, driverless vehicles, basically. And in terms of kind of Aston's credentials in this, there is an Indian example that I can share with you of an alumni of ours who went to Delhi and Gurgaon and set up a company called BlueSmart that people can go away and look up. BlueSmart is an exclusively electric vehicle taxi fleet operating in Delhi. So that gives a really kind of good idea of the kind of things that our students can achieve. So that's really exciting programs there, two really exciting programs. In the College of Health and Life Sciences, we have new courses in Biosciences for industry and in regenerative medicine manufacture. So these two courses are looking at really kind of modern applications of science, technology, and development, such as stem cell medicine, and how they can be applied to sort of health challenges. And the Biosciences for industry is a really good program for someone with a good biological sciences degree or biotechnology bachelor's degree, looking for a program that's going to help them springboard into an industrial scientific career. So that's really exciting there. Within the business school itself, a couple of new programs and a couple of new routes as well. So we have the MSc in Crisis and Disaster Management, and we have the MSc in Global Operations and Services Management. And these two courses, Aston's Business School is well established, so there's not many areas that we don't cover, but these two courses really drill in on two areas of speciality, that kind of how organizationally we can deal with crises, including natural crises like flooding and things. And then the Global Operations and Services Management program, looking at how businesses operate across borders, how they manage, but also in the services management, looking at how services can enhance the value of a product. Then we've got some changes around Richard's department as well in terms of entry requirements onto the International Accounting and Finance course. So that's, I don't know if Richard wants to talk about it, but that's a kind of option for people who've done a couple of papers with ACCA or CIMA to progress directly onto the MSc International Accounting and Finance. So that's a one-year program, so it's a longer program. It's also more expensive. So Richard's program, the tuition fees are, I think, £8,500.
8,000 as far as I know.
Yeah. Okay, 8,000, sorry. Whereas the MSc International Accounting and Finance is £19,000. So they're two different programs for two different audiences. So we really do, if you've got an interest in accounting and you might not have a standard background, we really do have a lot of programs, a lot of options for students there. Richard's course for those that are fully qualified, and we have this other course for people who are partially qualified.
So if someone from a different background can, come and join an MSc in Accounting and Finance if they would like to?
Yep. They can as well, actually. Yes, that's a good point. So if you're a student, say, of a bachelor's in a general BBA or HR or marketing background, but actually, you've done your bachelor's and you want to go in a different direction and explore accounting as a career, the accounting management would take students from other subject backgrounds as well. So that, again, that's another route into accounting for students who haven't done bachelor's in accounting. So
good. So this is an option for people who have just done an BBA program and now want to do a career, build up a career in accounting finance. They can directly move on.
Absolutely.
Okay. And also you have some very future courses, that like especially the vehicle technology, the sustainable engineering that you have at the moment you have introduced. Good. And let's talk about something in general about the Aston University overall regarding the student welfare, how you're supporting the student for international student, what support service that you have. from the university for the international student? As in career advice, what kind of service do you have if say a student goes from Bangladesh to Aston University? What can they expect in terms of student advice service from the student advice service?
Absolutely. So students get a lot of different support, and I guess one of the first ones to talk about that every student has is the personal tutor, which I'm not sure, Richard, are you a personal tutor for students?
Yes.
Yeah, perhaps you could say a word on what a personal tutor does and how they can support students.
Well, a personal tutor is the person who the student goes to when it's not an academic related matter, but it's perhaps a more holistic or course related matter, as a sort of friendly point of contact in case they're not sure where to go next. We have obviously the hub, as they call it, which has got lots of answers to student questions. We have counselling services, we have medical services, we have a whole range of services, but often a student is a bit confused, they're concerned. Maybe it's something to do with their personal circumstances or their learning circumstances they want to talk about, in which case we give them one-to-one individual guidance. Either obviously in COVID situation we probably do it via like this, but normally we do it actually in our offices, behind closed doors, and we refer them off to the most suitable source. Or it may be they just want to talk to us more generally and they don't need to refer to anyone else once they've spoken to us and they've got their head clear what they need to do, how they need to structure their work, maybe their priorities between different subjects, or maybe they now know a better strategy for dealing with the subject or dealing with a particular tutor because they perhaps didn't get off on the right foot or they haven't got the right idea about a particular subject. But it's a way of opening up without fear of blame or judgment, in a confidential way.
And alongside that, I genuinely find that the university support services cover just about everything that a student could ever, I find the problem is not that we don't have the support service, it's that students don't come forward to ask for it. So I'd really encourage everyone who's listening to, when you come to the university or to any university, but especially to Aston, remember that that's an organization of over 1,000 people, all of whom want you to succeed. Yeah. So, if you have something you want to ask for help for, do come forward, because there's going to be someone who's done it before, and there's going to be somebody in the university to help you solve that problem. Within the university as well, it's not just the university that's there to support you. There is also the students' union, and this is kind of overlooked. Sometimes students' unions, they can be seen as political things or as just somewhere for partying, but actually they play a really important support role, and a support role that is independent of the university. So if you have a potential issue with the university you want independent advice with, that's available through the students' union. And there is an elected officer in the students' union, the Vice President for Education and Welfare, who's there to kind of represent your needs and wants in terms of support. So that structure is there. And then the other topic I'd want to say a word on, actually, Shakila, is something close to my heart, because I was an Aston student and I'm dyslexic, and I find that when I travel overseas, sometimes there's not enough open talk about kind of learning challenges and things like that, and people sometimes can feel almost embarrassed or ashamed to say that they've got something like dyslexia or like dyspraxia, and you shouldn't. We would please encourage you to declare it in your application, engage with us. We've got, I can't remember what they're called now, the Learning Enhancement Team or whatever their name is.
Learning Development Centre.
There's the Learning Development Centre in the library, and then there's a team in the hub as well. And they've gone through different names since I've worked at the university. I can't remember what they're called now, but they are there, and they are incredibly professional. They can help with any kind of learning challenge or physical disability that a student has to ensure that you get the most out of your studies and achieve your true full potential. So I'd really encourage that, if a student has a challenge or an issue, do open up, do come and talk to someone, because we're nice people. Me and Richard are nice people. Everyone at the university is a nice person. So
I believe so.
We're gonna want to help out. We're not going to judge you or anything like that.
Yeah, we see ourselves as facilitators, enablers. We're there to help you make the most of yourself.
Yeah.
সো যেটা রিচার্ড বললো যে আপনারা যখন যাবেন আপনাদের যে কোনো সাহায্য আপনাদের লাগে সেটা কিন্তু আপনারা রিচার্ড বলেন টমাস বলেন ওদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন আপনি যদি কোনো লার্নিং ডিসেবিলিটি থাকে বা physically you have some problem you can always declare it into the form so then they can take extra care of you once you reach to the university or to the campus. They are there to help you out. Richard, there's one or two more questions that we have. Regarding undergraduate program, do you offer like it's a 3 years undergraduate plus is there any placement service with some of the courses from the university for undergraduate student?
Right. Well, the accounting and finance has a placement year, but I think if you're an overseas student, you can get exempted from it. Is that right? Something like that. Yeah.
It's optional. So
it's optional. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we encourage people to take it because that really rounds off their degree and gives them a good chance of employment at the end of it. Often people get employed by the people they do the placement at.
Right.
At Aston, that's true across the board. So just about every course at Aston will have the option to do an internship year. Now, in the case of Richard's program, that he's program director of the professional accounting and finance degree, that wouldn't be the case, but students are coming with that professional experience. Also with the MBA, people already have work experience, so it's not essential. And the other kind of exceptions would be subjects like medicine and pharmacy, wherein work experience is weaved into the day-to-day fabric of the course. But for all of our other degrees, more or less, you will find that on undergraduate, you would have the option to do 2 years of studying, then 1 year internship or study exchange, and then the final year, or a student can just progress straight through. And on postgraduate, on most of the courses, there's the option to add a year. In the business school, they call it the Aston Global Advantage, and in the engineering school, it's called the Professional Chapter. And that gives students the chance to do their year of study and then do 1 year of internship. And crucially, Shakila, that does not count as a part of the graduate immigration route time. So the 2 years of post-study working that is available to students now when they complete a full-time 1 year master's degree, that doesn't eat into that at all. So in effect, you get 3 years of working in the UK.
Okay. A lot of student wants to know regarding MBA program because they're very well known about the Aston University MBA program. They would like to know, do you need to have work experience to apply for the MBA program in Aston University? And plus, how much is the average cost to do an MBA program?
The cost.
Cost plus, do you need a work experience?
The cost of the MBA program is £26,000. In terms of work experience, yes, you do need work experience, and that needs to be a minimum of 3 years work experience since completing your bachelor's in a managerial role. Now, I know that some students find that kind of frustrating, or they're not used to that idea. If you want a master's degree in business, there's the MSc in Business and Management, which anyone can do. Freshers can go to. And that's that course there, okay? But in terms of the MBA, the real value of the MBA is derived from the collective experience of the group and the value of that network. So you have to contribute on the MBA and you have to have that experience to share. We want you to come and tell us how you faced problems and dealt with them in Bangladesh, because we want you to contribute to the class just as we do with our Indian students, Nigerian students, Saudi students, Chinese. This is about bringing together the best students from around the world and sharing that kind of collective experience.
Yeah, it includes a requirement of at least 3 years relevant post-graduation work experience by the time you start the program. That's how it's worded.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you for that, because a lot of people, in Bangladesh in general, people wants to do MBA program. So I thought it'd be better for them to know this information. So 3 years work experience is needed to do a full MBA program. Otherwise, they can go for management program, 1 year master's program.
Yeah. The BAM program, Business and Management.
Business and Management, right. Thomas, let's talk about something. Just a lot of people in Bangladesh generally going to UK means going to London. Going to London to study. Now I know that Birmingham is the second city in UK. So talk about, just say few words regarding the Aston University and Birmingham city, so that we make them understand that no, London is not the only city that has all the universities. There are other places in UK that they can go and study.
I don't even like London. And even on my salary, I can't afford a night out in London. London is very expensive to live in. It's it's a huge city. It's got some all right touristy things to go see, but as somewhere to live, it wouldn't suit me. I came from a small village and moved to Birmingham in 2007 to study, and I found Birmingham to be good then. It's great now because it's just developed so much. As a city, Birmingham is number one for a lot of things. It's number one for 5G technology uptake in the UK. It's the first city that HSBC opened a digital bank branch in. It's number one outside of London for business growth, small business growth. It's it's on everyone's visiting list. Bangladesh comes and tours England for the cricket. They're coming to Birmingham to get beaten at Edgbaston. If a big band is coming on tour, they're going to come to Birmingham because we've got great music venues, and that's kind of we're not as well. We're not kind of out on the outskirts of this. We're in the city centre. You can't explain it in a webinar how central in Birmingham we are.
Right.
But students can go cross the road and they're in the city centre. And they've got access to all of these types of things, and it's a really modern, diverse city as well. So that's good. I know that a lot of students from Bangladesh will want, they might not be thinking it now, but in time they'll start to think, well, where am I going to go eat? Where am I going to buy food?
Right.
Can I get halal meat, for example?
Right.
Oh, easy as pie. Yeah.
Yeah.
On that subject, we've got the British Islamic Bank was actually established in Birmingham as opposed to London, which has now changed its name to Al Rayyan Bank, but that's based in the Birmingham Business Quarter. We have a very strong multi-ethnic community which supports all religious traditions.
That's very important, yes.
So you would find eating out very easy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need kind of endorsement of that, Birmingham is going to be the city hosting the Commonwealth Games in 2022. Now, there's going to be the Olympics this year in Tokyo, but it's not going to be the normal festival that the Olympics is. But I think come 2022, we're all hopeful that Birmingham's going to be hosting the first major international celebration that's going to be taking place after this pandemic, and you're going to want to be in Birmingham to be a part of that, and our students will be a very active part of that, working part-time at the venue, doing internships.
Lot of work opportunity for them.
Yeah. Every hotel and restaurant in the city is going to be crying out for part-time workers then. So it's going to be a really good opportunity for our students to be at the center of something massive.
So আপনারা শুনলেন যে অ্যাস্টন ইউনিভার্সিটি কিন্তু অনেক কিছুই আছে ওদের, মাল্টিকালচারাল একটা এথনিক সোসাইটি, প্লাস ওদের 22-তে অলিম্পিক হবে, মিনি অলিম্পিক্স, ওখানে কিন্তু ইউ ক্যান ওয়ার্কের জন্য কিন্তু কোনো চিন্তা করতে হবে না। হ্যাঁ, Thomas, give the students some idea regarding the course. Are you offering blended course at the moment, or September the university have not taken a decision yet? Will they offer online courses or face-to-face, or you don't have any May intake, right? You only have September intake.
Yeah, that's right. So September is the next intake that we have for people. In terms of the teaching, it's blended learning currently. We have been doing online learning for most of the start of this year for most of our courses because of the pandemic conditions in the UK, but they have relaxed in the past week. We've moved into a new stage where we were allowed to do more face-to-face activity. I think the thing to reinforce, I'm sure Richard will back me up, every academic I've spoken to, they don't prefer this as a way of engagement. They want to be in a room in front of people. And I say this with the greatest respect to all the academics at Aston, but they're showmen. They want an audience. They want people to talk to. They want that interaction. So, we all want to get back to the classroom. I think having been forced to do online learning, we have found things that work well. And I think what you will see in the future is that there will never be a return to face-to-face teaching as it was before. There will be a greater use of technology by universities.
Right.
But really and truly, we all probably should have been doing that before the pandemic forced us to. This has just really taught us to, use technology in better and smarter ways. So I think for students, as we're able to return to that, and it will be a safety decision, it's not driven by anything but student safety. For us, we're concerned about that first, then the teaching quality, and then anything else, So we want to deliver the best learning experience we can, and we will get students back into the classroom when it's safe and not before.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, we're not rushing to expose staff or students to unnecessary risks. We've followed our government guidelines very carefully all the way.
Right.
And I think we've done quite well in terms of the amount of COVID that we've experienced in the university. So I think we're quite happy, and touch wood, should carry on like that. I've had my jab, yay. But on a more serious note, we've got all the technology running. We're one of the first universities that went into recording lectures, and we're far ahead of lots of institutions in terms of having everything available electronically on an electronic virtual learning environment, so that if unfortunately you can't attend a session, you don't have to miss out 100%. You might miss out on the actual liveness of the session, but hopefully you'll be able to catch up with the material.
Okay, good to know. Before we go, I forgot to ask you something. Do you accept gap year student?
Yeah.
You do?
No problem at all. I think, so long as the gap year can be explained, most students, and that includes if someone's just worked for a year to save up a bit of money before they come. But that's all we're going to ask. It's just, what have you done? It's not a problem that a student does a gap year at all. It's really normal in the UK. Lots of students do it in the UK.
In fact, it's sometimes regarded as an upper class look around the world, kind of gap student.
Yeah. A luxury almost. So,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Right.
I went backpacking in the Himalayas. What did you do?
Good. Thank you for both of you for coming and joining us. Our session was very enjoyable. A lot of information. I hope that we have students who are interested to apply to Aston University, and there will be some, I'm sure, after listening to you and Richard, especially the amount of scholarship that you're offering, and the special course for accounting and finance course, MSc program that you're also offering. Thank you for being with us, and thank you to all the viewers who has questioned us. And আপনাদের যদি অন্য কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকে, আপনার জানার বিষয় থাকে, আপনারা অবশ্যই আইসিসির সাথে যোগাযোগ করবেন। আইসিসি অফিসটা বনানীতে আছে আমাদের, আমি বলে দিচ্ছি, বনানীতে ই ব্লকে আর রোড 17A, হাউস 39। and আমাদের নাম্বারটা আমি আবার বলে দিচ্ছি 01885990990 or 01761448980। আর আপনারা এটা আমাদেরকে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ ও ভাইবারে নক করতে পারেন। আর আপনার তো ইমেল আছে study@iecc.co.uk। আর যারা সিলেট থেকে আমাদেরকে দেখছেন, তাদের ইন্টারেস্টেড থাকলে আমাদের সিলেটে আর্কাডিয়া সেন্টার 5th ফ্লোর, আম্বারখানা, সুনামগঞ্জ রোড, আপনারা ওখানে যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন। নাম্বারটা হলো 01885993993। আর এটা হোয়াটসঅ্যাপও আছে, ভাইবারও আছে। আর আপনারা যদি আমাদেরকে ইমেলও করতে চান, study@iecc.co.uk। সবাইকে আমাদের সাথে থাকার জন্য ধন্যবাদ, কোশ্চেন করার জন্য ধন্যবাদ। আইসিসির সাথেই থাকবেন, আপনাদের যে কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকে আমাদের সাথে যোগাযোগ করবেন। Thank you to Richard, thank you to Thomas, and I'll get back to you for the next program. All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was very enjoyable.
Yes.
Good to see you. Good to see you, Aston. Good to see you,
And
Richard.
I would just add that any student who wants to ask any questions after today, go see IECC. I promise you, the last event that I did and the last education agent I met was Shakila, and it was there at the Dhaka, was it the gun club, wasn't it? In
the shooting club, the gun club.
Yeah. And the last office I visited was this office that Shakila is sat in now. So I can promise you they're very well trained official representatives of Aston in Bangladesh. I was going to say in Birmingham.
Thank you to both of you. Stay safe, take care. Hope to see you sometime soon in Bangladesh. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care, be well. Bye now.
Yeah, you take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.